Okay. All right. Let's bring order back to this. This is my bag of bags that needs to go to the grocery store so I can recycle it. Hi everyone. Hello. Welcome to now. So I'm gonna start this video off by saying I don't know what this is. We're just gonna see. I'm not doing cardinal signs today. Well, I might do it later. I'm not doing cardinal signs right now. Um, I wanted to do a 9 realms reading, and I was gonna start it and then separate the different realms into different videos. But I was probably gonna be recording for hours if that's happened. Not that I haven't been live for like almost 6 hours before, so it would have been too different. But I didn't get all of the runic associations with the realms, so I didn't do it yet. But I wanted to use the Norse divination cards today. So we're just gonna see what comes through in a good way, right? Whatever wants to come through, give it the opportunity. And I feel like lately it's been a real almost back and forth. Ymir. Ymir and Dari behind the mask. This reminds me of wrestling around Runebreaker 6 with Odin. So Odin, Vili, and Ve are Vili and Ve, the brothers of Odin, kill Ymir to make Midgard. And I think Asgard, but maybe just Midgard. And so that starts a conflict. Hey, Zeno. Zenodo, Zenodox. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry. So it feels like there's this energy of like conflict behind conflicts behind conflicts. And then the first Titans. I was talking about how like the gods versus the Titans and the gods versus the giants sounds like. I was like, wow. I was thinking about that the other day. There's an original conflict here. And I remember there were also there was this question of if Ymir's Xenodox. Okay. Xenodox. Oh, that makes sense. There's this question of like if his memory lives on in the land. I don't know. Like I said, we'll see. We'll see what this is today. I have no clue. I'm already getting warm. I already finished drinking my water. I could go get more. I might go get more. I might pull a Patrick and leave the stream. I do that quite frequently. And it feels like Odin goes through extreme lengths to keep himself from paying whatever debt needs to be paid, right? It feels like in the slaying of Ymir and in the foundation of Midgard, it set certain things in motion that Odin wanted to avoid. And he sought many magics, and none of it could prevent Ragnarok. Anyway, maybe I'm not using this deck today. I'll give it 5 more shuffles. 4 more. 3 more. Maybe I'm not doing anything today. 2 more. Oh, goodness. Okay. one more. And the last one. Bottom of the deck is Soul. Oh, snap, we got Mimir. Soul is at the bottom. Vali and Mimir came out face up. And then Thiassi and Preisvelg came out face down. So we're going to see what this is about. I know Mimir is associated with knowledge and wisdom, omniscient advisor, counsel, and reconciliation. This is interesting. So Mimir would advise reconciliation. It feels like there's a way to pay the debt that was created when Ymir was removed from the world. Hey, Cindy. And Mimir is offering like a peaceful solution. Instead of more and more and more war and slaying and killing and stuff like that. Hold up, wait. Oh no. I was like, hold up. Something ain't right here. I got 2, 3, 4s. And then we have Thiassi, which is aging, maturing, and healing. And then Preisvelg, which is reflection. It feels like this reconciliation is avoiding Ragnarok. Because it feels like Ragnarok happens in order to balance something, in order to set something right. Oof. I was going to talk about, hey, Kizzy Cat. I don't know what this is today. We'll see. We'll see. It's real touch and go. But I was going to talk about how I feel like I've consistently been like, okay, it's time for me to step into all of who I am. And then more will be revealed. And I'm like, oh gosh, no. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. No, not me. I'm just a humble, lowly, whatever. And it's like, well, what happened? I thought you were going to be all of who you are or whatever. And it's like, yeah, when I thought all of who I was less than this. And so that's where I am again. Again, I'm in that place of like, okay, it's time to step up. It's time to come into all of who I am before even more gets revealed. Shayna. Okay. I'll try to remember that. It should be in here. Shayna is Xenodox. Shayna. All right. I like this. And then I also love that Soul is at the bottom of the deck because it feels like it's ushering in a lighter era, a lighter time. If it was Mani, the moon, it feels like it would have been another age of darkness. And that's what it feels like if we don't navigate it properly, the age of Aquarius could be one marked by lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of like rebellions and uprisings and things like that. Because it's ruled by Uranus and Saturn. If it's not fair, it'll fall apart. We're not putting up with it anymore. Or it could be beautiful. I feel like this is the beautiful side because we're being advised. I feel like all of this is Mimir's advice. Mimir is advising us to reflect, heal the things within us that we need to heal, so we can move into a space of reconciling with others. It feels like if there are certain things that we're holding on to, then we'll reject the reconciliation. Right? It's like if you're mad about something and the person who wronged you comes and apologizes, but you're not yet ready to forgive that person, then it doesn't really matter what they say or do. You're never going to forgive them because you're not ready for that yourself. So we got to be ready for that. And we have to approach it with, whatever. So. You too, having to embrace and step up. I'm just like, oh goodness. And it's always like, I feel like I was doing so good. I felt like I was doing so good. I was like, yes, I'll do this. But I really need to stop going back and forth. I need to stop pumping the brakes every time I get a little bit of momentum. I'm like, whoa, too fast, too fast, too fast. But then I'd be like, oh, why is everything so slow? So we have, I'm going to take soul. So 6-6 between soul and volley. Hold up, wait. Something is wrong. Something's wrong here. Now I got to look in the book. I marked both of these as 3-6. These can't both be 3-6. Hello? And then I have 2-8 and 4-8. So Hraesvelg and Thiassi are both 8, so they came out together as they should. And then Mimir is 7. So there's a 6, 7, 8 here. And then Fornjot, Temperance is below that. How did I mess this up? Let's see. So soul is the true 3-6. Volley is 3-7. The 8s. Okay, am I back? I can't tell. I don't know. All of a sudden, I'm having connection issues. You had a dragonfly appear on your doorstep. Oh, snap. This happens sometimes. One time it just it started buffering and it wouldn't come back when I was using this deck. So this is interesting. The 2 7s came out face up. The 2 8s came out face down. Well, this is 8-8. 7-7, 8-8. Even though it looks like 6-6, 7, 8-8. This is interesting. So I don't know which one of these is Thiassi. Maybe they're both Thiassi. But Thiassi's holding up the mirror, and the eagle is seeing Thiassi in its reflection. Or maybe the eagle has a human form and it's forgotten what its human form is. So we're going to read Thiassi because that's really interesting. This is Hraesvelg. This is Hraesvelg. Dana, hey. I was listening more than watching, so I got to go back and watch your unboxing video. But the card sounded like kind of intense. What? But the box looked gorgeous, so I'm sure I'll love them. Happy Early birthday, happy belated birthday, happy birthday. Just happy birthday, Dana. This is Reisvelg. And so Reisvelg is holding up the mirror so that the eagle sees. I don't know if that's Reisvelg's face or someone else's. But this is funny because I was talking about that. Oh, I'm going to be all of who I am. And then, you see an eagle in the mirror or something. And you're like, oh, yeah, nope, not doing that. That's a little too much. This reminds me, though, it's on the 18th. Okay. So I think the 18th is going to be another one of those days where everything happens. Dana's birthday is on the 18th. My grandma's dog has a vet appointment on the 18th. I think something else is happening on the 18th. Every now and then, a whole bunch of stuff will just happen. Oh, snap. Yours is on the 14th, Cindy. Happy early birthday to all the Leos. I would have. I'm gonna try to remember that. I'm going to a wedding on the 14th. My best friend is getting married. It's interesting because in Thiasi, it's like the mask is off. See, the mask is off, and it almost looks a little like a cat person. The mask is off in one, and then it's like we're seeing the true reflection in the other. This is reminding me of. All right, later, Dana. This is happy early birthday to your son as well, Shayna. I remembered. Yesterday, maybe. Where was that? Because with the healing and maturity here, it's like there are certain. The best way to say it, no. Well, there's an energy of potential. It's like realizing your potential. This is the healing, the growth, the maturation that happens as you're realizing your potential. And realizing your potential can be as simple as like, hey Steph, you caught me. Your dad is the 11th. Oh my gosh. I think one of my friends, his birthday is on the 10th. And I think I have another friend who's born on the 8th and one that's born on the 15th, maybe. I met a whole bunch of Leos like 2016, 2017. Like everybody was a Leo. I was like, what? I didn't find it out until the next year, though. Or no, it was like 2 years later. Like summer of 2019, I found out that like everybody I met in 2016, 2017 was a Leo. Your brother is a 20th. Hey, EP. So realizing your potential, it can be as simple as like the you that isn't afraid to voice your opinion, the you that isn't afraid of this or is no longer limited by that or that does blah 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 blah. Right? It doesn't necessarily have to be you being anything that you're not. It's just a less burdened you in some way. That's what this feels like. But there is an energy here. Ariel, hey. Oh snap! What happened? Right. All the birthdays in my family take place between February, March, and April. So there's a birthday cake drought from the end of April to the beginning of the next February. No birthday cakes. It's kind of sad. That's why it's like if I marry somebody, like we're gonna have to have some birthdays throughout the other months because I want birthday cake. But then I gave myself permission to just buy a birthday cake when I want a birthday cake, and it works. And I started celebrating my half birthday. I did that like last year. Anyway, I think it's also important for us to remain true to who we are as we become more too. Because this could be Christvelg. Again, I don't know which one is Christvelg. Maybe they're both Christvelg. And for the card today, they're both Christvelg. It's about the eagle remembering that it's the man and not being so eagle that it becomes detached from everything that makes it who it is, that makes him who he is. But it's also about not being afraid to be more. So let's read Christvelg for it's the eighth card in the fourth realm. Is this Svartalfheim? Let's see. Or is this Niflheim? It's Niflheim. Niflheimer. Niflheimer. Preisvelg or Preisvelger. I've heard Preisvelger. Green Goddess. Hey. Hello, everyone. Preisvelger is the mythological eagle that sits in the branches of the Yggdrasil. Okay, all right. This is the eagle at the top. Its presence stands for reflection in the spread. Preisvelger's wings will sweep away all obscurity or fallacies with regard to the seeker's self reflection and leave clarity for the seeker's question. The card revolves around the quest for clarity and represents a possibility for self reflection and clarity in a situation. The card indicates the capability to take responsibility and seeing one's own part in any play that is unfolding with regards to the question at hand. This might apply for any situation, be it related to personal questions or issues relating to the professional life. There are a few mythological. Okay. There are a few mythological animals living in Yggdrasil. This eagle sits on the branches. Four stags graze in its branches. The squirrel, Ratatosker, runs up and down the trunk. And Neithholger, the dragon, and several serpents are by the roots. I've heard like Nidhogg. Neithholger. Hreisvelger is sometimes understood as being Loki, shape-shifting and withdrawing for reflection, thinking, planning, and looking out over the worlds. Therefore, this card can also hint that the seeker or someone around the seeker, depending on the card's placement, is involved in some cunning plotting. Let's take that let's take that part out of it's not that it's cutting or whatever. Maybe it is. I don't know, but that's not what I'm picking up on. So this reflection is giving us the opportunity to heal things. And in that, this feels like who you are now is not who you once were, and who you will be is not who you are now. In terms of those limitations that I kind of sort of was picking up earlier. I've never heard that Hreisvelg is Loki. Like, wait. So that's who this is. But he's blonde in this card. Cruella DeVille. You do the half birthday thing too, Kelly? Oh, well, happy early half birthday. Your half birthday is in 2 days. I'm an Aquarius in sidereal, and I feel it. My moon is in Taurus in both tropical and sidereal, though. It's just earlier Taurus and sidereal. This. Now I gotta go looking before and after Loki. I want to read Soul too, but I did not know that this was Loki. Oh, okay. So Ymir is before. I'm pulling from the bottom of the deck, so if I was going from the top, it would be before on the bottom of the top. Ymir is next to Loki. Ymir is next to Loki. Loki is one of the significant players in Ragnarok. Like Loki and his children basically caused Ragnarok. Loki is a giant. It's like Loki's actions avenge Ymir, right? But we're being advised by Mimir to reconcile in some way so that we can avoid the Ragnarok that Loki is sort of bringing in. On the other side of Loki is not, and it's perpetual desire. And this is in Helheim, I think. They put Loki in Muspelheimr. Ymir is in Jotunheimer, which makes sense because Ymir is a giant. I feel like this goes back to that energy when I was talking about how if we're not ready to forgive someone, then it doesn't matter what they do or what they say. And I feel like that's what I feel like there's a perpetual, I feel like there's a desire that was born within Loki that is very much so what Ymir, it's like the retribution that Ymir wanted. It was born in Loki. And Odin, for all of his trying to avoid the payback, invited this into his life as a brother, right? They were like blood brothers or something like that, or oath brothers. But again, it makes sense, right? It's like when you wrong one, it's like taking fire to your bosom and not expecting to get burnt or something like that. Why? I love my winter birthday. Well, yeah. Yours is next month. Hey. And Loki is also an interesting energy because it's stuck between two worlds. Loki is a giant, but he has many relations in the realm of the gods. And it's almost like his birth family and his chosen family, his birth family and his oath family, and being in between both of them. And I think we don't really, I don't think mythology accounts for that as much as it could. I mean, I don't know how you would necessarily, but I think we forget that sometimes the reason why he is such a trickster is because he's trying to resolve within himself which side he falls on. The one that is everyone that he was like raised around to love and care and get to know are like his actual family because he was like essentially taken. And maybe Loki's perpetual desire is to find a place where he feels at home. Because it feels like with him being so in between, he's not really welcomed either, or he doesn't feel at home in either. And so all of the mess that he creates is him just trying to like kind of sort of just trying to be happy in a way. What? Well, I hope whatever you're going through, Green Goddess, I hope it turns around for you. Hey, Eve. See, look at this. If they were trying to tell me that Hreisvelg is Loki, I did not get the memo. I'm like, wait, maybe that's why Loki is so many things. It's an identity crisis in some ways, not in all ways. But like, it's almost like, oh no, Steph, I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh wow. I hope that you and the family are able to find comfort and peace somehow. So then, this reconciliation is for Loki. I think all of this is about Loki. Odin isn't in here, even though he caused, in some way, he caused all this trouble. And I kind of sort of love this because now it feels like this is a healed and matured Loki. This is a Loki that's worked through his opposing identities and that's found himself. And it feels like he's in a valley between these two mountains. Okay. And it kind of reminds me of what was coming out for um kind of reminds me of what was coming out for mutable signs yesterday about like with the lion and the sheep. And when we become the lion, it's not that we have to forget everything that we learned as a sheep because some of that is still valuable and there will be situations where it's applicable. Beautifully said, Soul Luna. And I feel like with Soul on the bottom of the deck, this is a self motivated process. There's another seven, not is another seven. So this goes up here with all the other sevens. Both Ymir and Loki are the fives of their respective realms, right? Ymir is the five in Jotunheimer. Loki is the five in Muspelheimer. So now we got two fives, three sevens, and two eights, and a six at the bottom of the deck. I'm going to read Soul. Why you roll your eyes at Aries Sun? Oh, is it 111 there? I guess it's 112 now. Aries Sun, Scorpio Rising, Pisces Moon. I could see you with the Pisces. Ooh, Pisces Moon is rough. Sidereal is like Vedic. It's also like Vedic astrology. It's where astrology kind of sort of was born, and then we get the tropical. I think they track different things. Sidereal tracks. I don't know. I forgot. I read it a while ago. You're just all Aries always. Let's see what Soul is about. So Soul is the only single number on the table. 556 777 88. This is in Alfheimer. Alfheimer. The fifth one in Alfheimer is sixth one. Sorry, he's a six. That's when I see it. Soul. Soul is the daughter. Oh, she is the six. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't know. I forget. You're mostly Virgo in both. Oof. Eve is a strong Virgo. Virgo is strong within that. Soul is the daughter of Mundilfari. Mundilfari. Her brother is Mani, the moon. Soul is sometimes said to be the personification of the sun, also known as Sunna. Soul and Mani were very close, some say lovers, and their beauty shone so bright that their father gave them those names, much to the gods' dislike. So they were set to circle the sky and forever chase each other as punishment for their father's vanity. They can only meet briefly at dusk and at dawn. Note that before they were sent to the sky, the sun and the moon moved randomly around the sky. The gods made Sol and Mani put order to the sky. And in such a way, we were able to keep time. Both siblings indicate qualities of control, abstinence, and devotion to any given project. Sol, seen holding the horsewhip, entering her chariot driven by the horses Aurvar- Aurvakar and Ausvider, which pull the chariot holding the sun, is pursued across the sky by a wolf. Sol represents immense beauty and true heart. Her interpretation, like her brother's, seems to be a contradictory one. She stands for fierce loyalty, the ability to forever keep an eye on a goal and to never give up. But she also represents unfulfilled love, romantic love, or the love of a subject, the inability to fully obtain the object of desire, and the eternal chasing after it. However, she has the power of the sun with her. She is the sun. She is life. She is the one who puts order in the universe, grand and powerful. If she shows up with her brother Mani, she is reinforced in loyalty and focus. Sol and Mani reinforce each other in the spread. Well, Mani isn't here, and I'm not going to go looking for Mani, so. You saw Wolf 2 days ago in meditation? What? See, it's interesting that she stands for unfulfilled desires and eternally chasing them, with perpetual desire not here. Can y'all hear Chino? I'm actually gonna read Not. Not is the seventh in Hellheimer. Helheim, or is it just Hell? I don't know. She's the personification of night, and then Soul is the sun, so it's always, day. Oh, Not is the personification of the night in the Eddas. She is the daughter of the giant Narvi. She was first married to a man named Naglfari, similar to the name of the ship that carries the hordes of soldiers, sons of Muspel, to battle during Ragnarok. She had one son by him and later married Anmar, which translates to other. Anar, sorry, by whom she had her daughter Jord. Finally, she married Dellinger, and by some accounts, she had her son Dagur with him. Dagur is the personification of day, but it is not entirely clear if Dagur and Not are actually mother and son, or if they are siblings or even lovers. The sun and the moon, Dagur and Not, and the night and day are all entities in the mythologies and are easy to mix up due to the many and inconsistent accounts of them. However, it is clear that Not suffers from a perpetual unfilled desire and is therefore placed in hell in the deck. If the Gur appears with her in the spread, he lights up the darkness around this desire, meaning either that the seeker will get what they desire or be free from the desire by other means. So she isn't lit up by him, she's lit up by soul. I feel like there's an interesting alliance here because they both understand what it's like to want something and not have it. It's also interesting because it was said that night and day existed before Soul and Mani, but Soul and Mani brought order to it. So, not is an energy that exists almost before Soul came into being. It's also interesting because here the night is feminine, but then night becomes like, okay, so yeah, night is feminine here, but then the sun is associated with feminine and therefore the day. So there's something between these two that is very much so a little mystical. I don't know what it is. The wolf that came out in Russell's last reading was a little intimidating. When it came out the first time, it was like it's sniffing you. You're being sniffed. You're being scented. Put your hand in the mouth if you want to. Get bit. Y'all ain't learned from Tyr. I'm just playing. A real possum was like 4 steps away. Starting me so bad. You get early morning possum and armadillos. Oh gosh. I see possums and armadillos and raise you a skunk. I was with I went with my grandma today to give her dog a bath. And as we were pulling down the street, there was like a dead raccoon in the middle of the street. I mean, it looked like fairly intact. It wasn't super messy. And then when we were at Taco Bell the other night, my brother said that there were like 5 raccoons that were like in and out of the dumpster. But anyway, there's a lot of interesting energy here. I feel like, again, Loki would also know what it means to have a desire that's in some ways unfulfillable. And it's almost like to Loki, his desire is unfulfillable by nature of who he is. Skunks are dangerous. Like they do more than stinky. It feels like self acceptance is one of the self acceptance is something that's going to serve us a lot right now. Like a full acceptance of self. And if there is anything that we long for, if there is anything that we desire, especially if it's outside of us, it feels like it's time for us to understand why. To understand why we desire the things that we desire. Because if there's something that we desire because of what we feel like we're lacking internally, then that creates that perpetual desire. Because if it's an internal lack, it doesn't matter if you get it outside of you, it won't necessarily fill within you that which you must fulfill within yourself. Right? Like you can be in a relationship with an amazing person and still feel alone. And it's almost like there's a part of me that's like it's better to learn that before you get in there Because it's like, if you think a relationship will fix it and then it doesn't fix it, now there's a whole extra layer on top of like what you thought was going to work. And now there's a whole person attached to you as you do all of that within you. And it's not that the relationship will necessarily fall apart, but it's like it overly complicates the process in a way. Not necessarily because we're human. But if our worldly desires are the result of something that's missing internally, this is a call to begin to fix that. Because it's almost like if everyone involved in the story would have done that, then Ragnarok would have never happened. Oh my gosh. There's some similarity here. You see this? The moon, and then in Mimir and his Mimir's Brunner, or however whatever it is called. I feel like the well. Did I talk about a well yesterday? Digging a well? Or was that for Scorpio? I think that was for Scorpio. There was something about a well. And a well that'll never run dry. So you don't have to be afraid of taking your bucket to the well. Your dog got sprayed once. Oof, dog would have been outside. Yeah. Me too, Cindy. Every time I come to accept me, there is more. And I'm like, oh gosh. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily something that we do wrong. I think, like just like we get to know other people, just as other people continue to unfold and evolve, we do that as well. And just because we are who we are doesn't mean that our relationship with ourselves necessarily works any differently than our relationship with anybody else. It doesn't mean that loving ourselves is going to be too different than loving anybody else. It doesn't mean that getting to know ourselves isn't going to be too different than getting to know someone else. Right? How do you love someone else? How do you get to know someone else? It takes time, it takes presence, it takes patience, some compassion, some understanding. And as you continue to unfold to yourself and as you continue to evolve, it's being able to meet all of that with love, right? Is that Sir Professor Nerdplow? Yes. Sir Professor Nerdplow Odinson of the Norse. Yeah. He was like, some people devolve. Well, to them, we send them love and compassion, maybe from a distance. I think sometimes our journeys can be so healing heavy in the beginning that we kind of assume that it'll always be that. For me, myself personally, and I can't speak to anyone else's journey, but for me, there was a lot of healing up front, but then it became more like exploration, more expansion, and more being. And if something comes up to be healed, then I heal it. But I'm no longer like going looking for things to heal. And I think it shifts the dynamic a little bit. And I hear a lot of people talk about how like healing is never over and stuff like that. And it's fair, but that's not the belief that I hold. I don't hold that belief about my journey. And since I don't hold that belief about my journey, I feel like it affords me the opportunity to experience more than just healing. And again, like if something comes up in the moment to be healed, I heal it. Or if I start to notice things going on, like I it reflect, I go inside, I'm like, is there something within me that needs to be healed, worked through? And yeah, But I don't hold the belief that that's always going to be the case. And so again, it's like it affords me a little bit more. And I get to avoid that, like, well, I've healed everything I can think of. Like, why isn't this doing whatever? Because I think sometimes too, we can create things to heal from that state of overthinking. And that's where a little bit of like things can kind of sort of begin to break down, or we can break down the things that we've built up, even if they're fairly solid and they don't need to be broken down, but it's because we don't see anything else. But that's how my journeys has been unfolding for me. Yeah, that's true, Ariel. You've been going back and forth between I don't know anything and I'm good. I'm just like, well, I'm just here sometimes. I'm like, okay, anything that needs to be done, I'll do it. The rest, I'm just here. I'm just here because there's a lot going on right now. You're empathic. Sometimes you can't tell if feelings are yours or someone else's. That's what you're working on. I feel like my right ear is getting toasty. Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. I have a stellium in Virgo. I've only just found out I have emotions. I mean, to be fair though, like I'm a Pisces sun, Taurus moon, and rising. I have a fair amount of water in my chart. I got energy in Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. I have basically everything in my chart except for Virgo. And I feel like though sometimes I don't know if it's the cold side of my Taurus moon. So my Taurus moon is at like 27 degrees, and so there's like a less than 2 degree orb with algol, low key. And I looked it up one time. I'm like, ooh, that's rough. Um, and it's interesting because I think like my Taurus rising is the same degree as my little brother's Taurus sun, and my Taurus moon is the same degree as my grandmother's Taurus sun. Anyway, um, so I've only discovered recently that like I actually have the capacity to like actually love people, like full heartedly love people, not one of those like I'm gonna love you until you act up and then I'm done. And I was like, what? I can be loving. And I knew I could be, but until I had the opportunity to practice it, it was like it was all theory. It was theoretical. So, oof, emotions are rough, low key. Like for people who have a Pisces moon, like I have a friend who's a Pisces sun and moon. I'm like, girl, I don't know how you do it. I can barely tolerate. I can barely handle the emotionality of this Pisces sun I have. I am so thankful for my Taurus moon and rising, for my first house Taurus moon. I'm like, yes. Like whenever I get a little too emotional, it kicks in. And Taurus moon is like, you know what? This is a lot of work for something that is not paying out. It's time to go. But your stellium is in Sag, mostly earth and fire. Emotions get in the way of doing things. Kizzy Cat's got an Aries moon in the Virgo stellium. Ooh, double Cancer. Goodness. Yeah, my mom is a Gemini moon. Pisces sun, Gemini moon. Lots of questions. And it's like, I got to give a detailed answer. I'm like, I'm not an expert. You're looking for an expert advice and you're asking an amateur, not even an amateur. Emotional intelligence is what you're cultivating. Uldar. Uldar actually came out yesterday when I was like, yeah, no, I'm not using these. It's the Berserker, the Warrior. Hey, look, that dog, or that dog, that bear is reminding me of the wolf that's like sniffing you out. Bottom of the deck is Ran, and Uldar. I read Uldar. Scorpio moon and rising. Virgo sun. Ooh. So you're another. Oh no. So you're an Earth sun with a fixed water moon and rising. Mutable Earth sun, fixed water moon rising. I'm a mutable water sun, fixed Earth moon and rising. Oh, is this a wooze? No, no. I was like, I thought I felt a wooze coming in, but it went away. I haven't gotten the woozies as much since I was like, you know what? The part of me that was trapped in the shadow vortex, since I let that part in, I've been feeling less woozy. I've also just been chilling a lot. I've just been like, I don't know what's happening, but everything will be all right. Ulthar. Oh, this is in Muspelheimr. The Berserkers are the warriors of Odin who fight the sons of Muspel in the final battle of Ragnarok. Odin's men were fearless and wild warriors, drawing inspiration from the wilderness, from wolves in particular. So maybe it is a wolf, even though it looked a little bit more like a bear. It said wolves in particular. I mean, Odin had two wolves, so that makes sense. You got the woozies bad yesterday. What, the woozy? The woozies, it's just like, I don't know. It's like, it's this mixture of like lightheaded and just like maybe like a pinch of vertigo. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it than like just a little woozy, but it's like strong. Like I was getting strong woozies at one point, like woozies with gravity. I was like, what? Um, yeah, I'm so bad with explaining things sometimes. So a stellium is three or four or more planets in the same sign or in the same house. So here's the wolf, and they were strong like bears. Okay. The name Berserk implies wearing the clothes of the bear. Oh, I've seen those. Maybe it was in Charmed. Or maybe it was Teen Wolf. They would wear like the skin of the some animals and they would just like power up. One of the berserkers was Vidar, Thor's brother, and one of Odin's sons? Seen on the card with his bear totem at his back? So this is a bear? What? Vidar? I thought Vidar was a giant. Ragnarok got me effed up. I don't know who is who or what is what. One of the berserkers was Vidar, or Vidar, Thor's brother, and one of Odin's sons, seen on the card with his bear totem at the back. Vidar is one to call upon for audacity in the face of adversity, and the bear brings strength, confidence, and fierce courage. The presence of a berserk in Muspel's world indicates the need for plunging head on with fearsome energy into the face of an opponent or an obstacle in the seeker's path. It might not be a time for cunning and calculating, but a time to face obstacles intuitively and fearlessly. Keep in mind that the Berserk warrior was famed for going into a frenzied state of mind in battle and is held to be invulnerable. The Berserker's actions are recklessly defiant. This is one of those can't go under it, can't go around it. You might have to just go through it types of energies. Oh, snap. Cindy just found out she got a Virgo stellium. I think Russ has a Virgo stellium too. If I say Virgo 2 more times, maybe he'll pop up. Okay. I'm kidding. That's what I got. For those who need it, I hope that peace and comfort and a breath where you can just like be finds you. I hope that y'all have a good whatever whenever you see this, that you have a better one soon. I hope that you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. And I hope that, again, it's like whatever you need, you find. Be that within you or outside of you or wherever it may be. So no problem, no problem. I want to just do like a talkie live at some point where I just come and we talk and I don't have to pull cards, or I can. Um, but I think I might need to get some pancake mix because we're running a little low. And I know I could just do like flour and like I could make pancakes without the mix, but I still gotta. I'm graduating to pancakes, okay? No problem. I'll chat with y'all soon. I will, Cindy, at some point. At some point, it will happen. It will happen. Maybe.